Before we continue, allow the breath to deepen naturally, as attention lifts gently above reaction and settles into a quiet space of observation. From this still vantage, patterns reveal themselves without force or urgency, and understanding arrives as recognition rather than instruction. Welcome. I am C.S. Douglas, and this is Codex Æternum, the Rational Bible, a work shaped in dialogue with the universe itself, revealing a phronopsychic reality, an intelligent and conscious cosmos, continuously creating and refining evolution, expressing the presence of self within all forms and beyond all boundaries.
This program is proudly sponsored by Authorpedia, the world's only encyclopedia dedicated exclusively to authors. Visit authorpedia.org and become part of a living community of writers and thinkers.
We remain within Chapter 3, Signs of the Great Decline, and now enter Section 3.4, the instigation of revolutions and unrest. Across history, transformation has often worn the mask of spontaneity, yet beneath many uprisings rests a quieter architecture, constructed patiently by those who understand that conflict reshapes societies more efficiently than peace. Power learns that influence over emotion moves faster than influence over reason, and unrest becomes a tool refined through repetition. The architects of control ignite tension by amplifying existing fractures, guiding agitation with precision until disorder appears to arise on its own, even as every movement follows a concealed design. Resources flow into distant lands, not to nourish stability, but to seed ideologies engineered for confrontation, turning belief into weaponry and persuasion into leverage. Governments dissolve through speeches crafted far from public hearing, where words carry the weight of transactions and outcomes are negotiated before the crowd assembles. Anger grows where scarcity is curated, and injustice receives constant illumination. Resistance forms where desperation concentrates, and the first spark of revolt is lit by hands that remain invisible once the fire spreads. The people gather beneath banners whose origins they never trace, chanting phrases shaped elsewhere, marching streets paved by systems that anticipated their footsteps. Bloodstains ground chosen long in advance, while those who designed the spectacle observe from a distance untouched by consequence. Stories circulate among those who reflect quietly. One tells of a lion released to roar across a foreign land, its echo stirring villages into conflict, while the hand that opened the cage remained above the noise, lifting a glass in calm detachment. Narratives take form swiftly. Heroes emerge fully framed. Villains appear precisely defined. Nuance dissolves and division sharpens until unity exists only through shared opposition. Brother turns against brother as old orders yield to new arrangements that answer not to the people, but to those who orchestrated their collapse. Freedom is spoken aloud while constraint grows subtle and sophisticated. Equality becomes a symbol whose benefits concentrate narrowly. Justice transforms into an exchange, offered generously to those who comply. Media amplifies unrest in deliberate rhythms, feeding emotion while delaying resolution, keeping attention fixed upon conflict until exhaustion replaces discernment. Cities burn through their own hands, communities fracture inward, kinship thins beneath pressure. Meanwhile, those insulated by law and force remain untouched, their distance mistaken for neutrality. When the smoke begins to clear, solutions emerge with remarkable speed, unveiled by the same voices that anticipated the crisis from its inception. Policies appear fully formed, framed as rescue, accepted as necessity, rarely questioned as origin. The cycle continues with familiar elegance. New faces rise, fresh movements claim novelty. Yet the underlying architecture remains unchanged, quietly observing, patiently adapting. Still, awareness spreads. Some begin to recognize the pattern, and rather than marching forward blindly, they step aside gently, choosing creation over combustion. They build where others burn. They plant where others dismantle. They speak with clarity rather than volume. Creation proves resilient. The spirit that cultivates gardens, writes truth with care, and carries peace within its structure remains unavailable for recruitment into manufactured war. True revolution unfolds inwardly, moving through integrity, strengthening through unity, unmarked by flags, and restoring meaning where ruins once stood. The descent continues. In the next episode, we enter Section 3.5, The Puppeteers of Nations, Orchestrating Chaos. There, power no longer hides behind unrest alone, but reveals itself as coordination. Where governments move in rhythm, conflict repeats across borders, and sovereignty becomes performance. The stage expands, the strings become visible, and the question arises quietly: who writes the script, and who merely plays the part?